Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our Wednesday night conversation. My name is Joe W. Parker. I'll be joined in just a few minutes by my co-host, Mr. Eric Wilner. This is the time. Send out those last minute texts, make those last minute phone calls. Let's get ready to talk about the greatest opportunity that exists on planet Earth, and that is MWR. Thank you, Fernando Ramirez, for setting the platform up and giving us an opportunity to tell this incredible story. And thank you to all our guests who've shown up. We still got enough time, guys, to send out those last minute texts. Make those last minute phone calls. Let's get as many people in front of this as possible. This is a story worth telling. I'm excited, guys. I'm real excited. So, guys, get on now. Send out those texts, make those last minute phone calls. You want to share this concept with as many people as possible because folks are looking for a way out. And we have found it with this partnership with MWR. And we're going to talk about it in some great length and detail tonight with my co-host, Mr. Williams. So, guys, get ready. Again, we're going to slow it down to give you enough time. Send out those last minute texts, make those last minute phone calls. Let's get people engaged and let them see and hear what all the excitement is about. And that's MWR. Miss Lovey Sullivan, welcome to the platform. Miss Alicia Cavallo out of New Jersey, welcome to the platform. One of our Latino leaders, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Fernando Ramirez, my good friend Randy Christensen, Greeley, Colorado. Welcome to the platform. Guys, we're excited. We are so excited. Send out those last minute texts, make those last minute phone calls. We're right at the bottom of the hour, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. We'll give it another minute and let Mr. Wilmer join us on the platform. But we'll get started. Promising not to be before you long tonight, but to provide you with some very impactful information. And I think my man has just arrived. He's travels all over the country, guys, touching the lives of so many people. He's an incredible entrepreneur, highly successful, my good friend who I met several years ago in South Florida. And looking forward to seeing you again and sharing that sunshine with you, my friend. Good deal.
Looking forward to it, my friend. Looking forward to it. Meanwhile, we
Absolutely.
get to meet on these Zooms, and that's always a pleasure.
Eric, today I was reminiscing, thinking about several years ago when we started this platform on a Wednesday night, you and I. And many of those live events took place in South Florida throughout the year. It was an exciting time then. It's just as exciting now to share the platform with you, sir.
Yeah, well, we've come a long way in that time, and I don't know if you remember. Not only did we share the platform here in Florida, but remember where we were at an event and we were in the same hotel, and so as to not interfere, you and I were sitting in two different rooms in the same hotel, and it was a lot of fun. We
I
even did
do
one
remember, sir.
outside. We
Oh,
even did
no.
one outside.
I remember that one as well. That was pretty exciting. So, guys, once again, thank you for joining us. This is our Wednesday night conversation, and we're going to get into it and talk about what I consider to be, once again, the greatest opportunity that exists on planet Earth. But a little bit about my co-host tonight, this great man out of South Florida, Mr. Eric Wilner. I'd be remiss without letting you know or help you understand or share with you the fact that he is the founder of the longest running syndicated radio, real estate radio show in the country. I mean, in the United States, nobody's done it as long as he has. Nobody's had as much success with it as he has. And that platform touches people's lives every single day. The audience is huge, and people from all over the country tap in to get the knowledge that he brings every morning.
Indeed, indeed, and it's a pleasure because it was really because I think sort of the coming together of a perfect storm, the ideas and the mission behind what we're going to talk about tonight was in very good alignment with what I've been talking about on my radio show for over 25 years. And that is this, I believe that everyone should own a home, and I thoroughly believe that. And as you know, this is my mission, is to put deserving people, individuals and families in a home. And the company we're going to talk about also believes in helping to promote home ownership. Number two, I believe that everyone should have their financial house in order in writing. And whether you call it a life plan, a financial plan, a business plan, but all successful people have written plans, a goal. We can talk all day long about goals and what really is a goal. And number three is that I believe that everybody should have a business in addition to whatever other income they may have. But having a business gives you access to a whole new set of IRS rules. There are two different tax codes, one for the employee and one for the business owner or employer. And I'll let you guess which one is, that the code is stacked in favor of. Because after all, big business got together with the Washington to make those rules. And so those are my three beliefs is, home ownership, plan in writing, and a business of your own. And tonight we're going to talk about how to make that happen, even if you thought it wasn't in the cards for you.
No question about it, Eric. This gives us a chance to join them because we know we can't beat them. It's a huge enterprise. But again, the deck is stacked in their favor. So we get a chance to play the game on the same level by becoming business owners. We need a vehicle, a way to do it. MWR is that way. So let's get into it. Well, again, we're talking MWR. This is where lifestyle and legacy connect. We have the ability to help people realize their dreams. And we've created a plan to assist them in doing so. But a little bit about the company. We're the first and only lifestyle and legacy company of its kind. You won't see this anywhere else. It was founded in 2017. 8 years later, it's a totally debt-free, multi-million dollar company. Now, Eric, you talked earlier about missions, right? Your mission and how it ties into the mission with MWR. Look at what they say. They want to help the average everyday person experience true time and financial freedom. Who doesn't want that? And then you spoke of vision, right? The vision is for MWR to create more financially independent families than any other company in history. That's pretty bold right there, and I'm liking that. But finally, the last piece. I mean, we've got access now. This platform gives us the same system, strategies, and experts previously reserved only for the wealthy. So, Mr. Wilner, I'll ask again. It appears to me that MWR in this platform that's been created has leveled the playing field if we've got the same access now that wealthy have always had.
Yeah, and this isn't about inventing a better mousetrap or something new, novel, or untested. These are tested financial strategies, principles that the wealthy have been employing not only for decades, but literally for centuries. And it's not that it wasn't known or that it's unknown. You hit it right on the head when you said now we have access to it, because what was lacking before was the information and the access.
Wow, no doubt about it. But that game is about to change because we've got that access now. So let's talk about MWR's risk-free way to tap into the global financial market. And when we talk about this financial market, the global economy, the financial market makes up 30% of that. That's a lot of money moving around the world. Now, what does it equate to in dollar figures? 36 trillions, the current market size. That's trillion with the T, ladies and gentlemen. That's today's financial sector valuation. Now, here's the beautiful part. It is projected to grow in the next 5 years to 50 trillion. So, Eric, once again, this gives me the sense that you, myself, and anyone else has an opportunity to get a piece of the pie because 50 trillion is a whole lot.
Yeah, and a lot of people, that number may not even be real for a lot of people, but let me tell you what is real. We have a conversation about money every single day. You're talking about the price of eggs, the price of gasoline, inflation, interest rates, the cost of rent, the cost of homes. This is the most common, this is why it makes up 30% of the market, because it's the most common conversation. And imagine if you had the solution, access to the experts, to the conversation and the problem that everybody is talking about.
No question about it. And that's exactly what we have in our hands. Now, here's the thing. I know that many people, myself included, want to become wealthy, beyond rich, but wealthy, more than enough money, right? To leave generational wealth. How do we do it? We need a way to do it, right? Everybody needs a plan. MWR's created that plan and they broke it down in three simple steps. So, first, we know that we've got to have money invested in order to get the return so that we put ourselves in a position where we've got money making money for us. Where do we get the money from? Well, we're going to access the money from the bank and we're going to operate just like the bank. We're going to access guaranteed unsecured business funding through our Fundable 360. Now that we've got that money, what happens? We're going to purchase income producing assets, something that we should all be doing anyway. But the reason that we're not doing because we don't have the financial means to secure the investments, like precious metals and some of the other things that we'll be doing. But this is going to allow us to generate passive monthly income while benefiting from appreciation over time. But here's the beautiful part about everything that we're doing, Eric. We have the ability to share this good news and put ourselves in a position to make a ridiculous amount of money. These three steps are pretty solid. If we can grasp this concept and understand how to, work our way through this. And at the end of the day, it's going to be a good life.
Yeah, it's solid and it's also very simple to follow. I like things that are broken down, simple and easy to understand. The financial world is complicated enough as it is. When a company comes along and lays the groundwork and gives you the simple steps, literally color by the numbers, and then backs it up with the experts on speed dial for each one of our members, this is where this path leads.
No question about it. So let's get started. Let's get the money, right? So that we can put ourselves in a position. How do we do it? MWR Fundable 360. See, ladies and gentlemen, this is business credit and funding made easy. No personal credit required, $50,000 minimum, no collateral, expert guidance along the way through the entire process. Funding is guaranteed. And Eric, once approved, always approved, meaning you go back to the well time and time again. This is fascinating.
Yeah, and lenders love lending to people that that have borrowed before, performed, paid back everything on time. They want to keep giving them more to allow them to expand their business, grow their network or whatever it is that they're trying to do. And so this Fundable 360 is really an incredible addition, a recent addition to our platform here. But again, it's putting all the pieces of the puzzle together so that we can follow that three-step plan, right? Number one, find the money, borrow other people's money, which, by the way, that's what the wealthy people do. They don't use their own money, put their own money at risk. They find the money, show that they have a good cause to use the money, and then leverage and make money off of other people's money.
Oh, wow. Let's open the floodgates, my friend. Now that we're in here, what happens next?
So here we go. Again, very easy step-by-step process. Number one is to find the money. Now we found the money. Now let's employ the money. You see, the average person works hard for their money. The wealthy has their money work hard for them. And so
Mm.
let me give you an example. And I like this example because it's very similar to what I do in the real estate world. Number one is we go out and we purchase the asset. Here, they're making it very accessible and easy to do, very transactional, where you can purchase silver, gold, platinum, palladium, and other precious metals easily, simply, and with the assistance of experts. Then what you do, of course, when you buy an investment, you store it someplace safe. People would put their monies in the bank. I don't know how safe that is. They take their investments with brokerages. They take their gold and precious metals. Most people store them in safe deposit boxes or under the mattress at home. They tend to store it, and it's a bulky and it's difficult. We actually in our platform are building our own storehouse, our own little mini Fort Knox, where the metals are stored securely in licensed and insured depositories. Okay. And you're going to start hearing that word more and more often, depositories. Now, while the money is in the depository, two things are happening. Number one is we know that the price of precious metals over time goes up, like most hard assets, like real estate. But we're also going to talk in a second about how you can actually earn and generate monthly income through the exclusive leasing program, a lot like real estate. I own the property, right? The property, I don't have to store it because it doesn't go anywhere, but then I can lease it out and then earn an income while the property is appreciating. And that's, what I call the icing on the cake, is when we benefit from the long-term value growth of the hard assets, be it real estate or precious metals.
This approach is very similar to real estate investing. As you described,
Yes.
it's pretty amazing because real estate, again, is going to increase in value. You're in a position to lease the property, so you're generating income. And now we're betting on silver through, with the direction we're headed here with MWR. But the experts are predicting over the next 5 years a 60% increase in the value of silver. So that's pretty strong. Again, much like real estate. But let's break it down, Eric. Now that we've got the $50,000 in place, show us how this works. We found a job for that money. How's it going to be set up? What do we do?
So let's break it down into some numbers and then follow along here. As you mentioned, Fundable 360 helps you. And I think we went past also another important detail. The Fundable 360 is money that you're able to obtain regardless of your personal credit.
Mm.
We're talking about developing a second profile, a business credit profile. Now, you can pick to do one or the other, or in my case, I want to do both. Why not have two profiles that are able to leverage their money and make money at the same time? So now that you have this business funding that you have, initial purchase, you take that funding and make a purchase. In this case, $50,000 is the example. That will generate, let me say, the money that I borrowed is costing me, let's say 8%. 8% is equivalent to $333.33 per month. That's my cost. That's my overhead of this investment. However, just like I borrow money to buy real estate and then lease it out at a price higher than my cost, the monthly leasing income here, estimated and by contract, 1.5%, generates $750 a month in revenue. Now you subtract the cost from the revenue, and now you get the net profit. The net monthly profit is $416.67. Now, quick calculator move times 12, that's 1 month, right? Times 12 means that I have an annual net profit, i.e., cash flow of $5,000. That's profit. Okay, that's not the revenue. Remember, the revenue was $750 a month. So annual appreciation, and this is just based on the average of the last 5 years of around 13%, means that my $50,000 worth of silver that I bought is now worth 6,500 more, or in other words, the total value of my holdings, including the cash, okay? Because you could do whatever you want with the cash, the same way you could have done whatever you wanted with the $50,000. But this is an investment program, so we're going to reinvest that $5,000 along with the $6,100 of appreciation. So now we have $61,000 and $61,500 holdings at the end of year one. Okay, I broke it down in more detail for year one so you could follow the revenue minus the expenses, the net profit times 12 is the annual, and go ahead and figure out the annual return. But this is not about figuring out the 1 year annual return. Now let's talk about what happens over time. So this was year one. Let's go into year two.
Let's see what it looks like, sir.
So here, year one, 61,500. Hopefully it's easy to follow along. Well, we're now going to go back to the well, just as you said. Fundable 360 is going to get me another $50,000 I put on top of the 61,500 that I have. But by the end of year two, I'm now at 138. At the end of year three, I'm at 234,000 and change. By the end of year three, and what you're witnessing is the power of compounding, the eighth wonder of the world, according to Albert Einstein. In year three, 356. And by year five, if you follow this and stay disciplined and follow, stay the course, you could have $512,000 on money that you didn't have, you borrowed. And even if you paid back 5 years of $250,000 that you borrowed, you're way ahead of the game as you are. I'm not even saying that you should pay it back yet. I think you should keep rolling it forward. But here's a way to accumulate over $500,000 in assets and over $4,000 a month in passive income in just 5 years or less.
I think that's what's to me that's what's so impressive about the concept, right? This example, as it relates to the investment in silver, the ability to accumulate $500,000 in 5 years or less, and then you're still putting yourself in a position where those assets are bringing you a return of around $4,000 a month in passive income. And then that continues to grow over time. So that's the beauty of this thing. It puts so many things in motion when you get started. So now we ask the question, how many people do you and I know, or everyone knows, that would like a risk-free way to accumulate millions in income producing assets without using their own money? The answer is everyone. No doubt about it. But here's the beauty of it.
All day long. Yep.
Now here's the thing that I like, Eric. We have a chance to share this concept. What you just reviewed with people. If you sat down with a group of people and say, "Here's a surefire way to a path to wealth. Three simple steps." We lay it all out. They say, "Okay, I like it." Now MWR says, over and above what you just shared with us in the way of generating income through the silver investments with the precious metals and leasing platform, we have the ability to get paid a ridiculous amount of money by sharing that same concept. So simplification, simplicity equals plus duplication equals leverage. Help us understand how easy this piece is with starting with just 12 people.
Yeah. And, when you go out to a nice restaurant, you go to a great show, you tell people, right? And do you earn anything from that? No. And you do it because it's a good thing. Well, imagine if you were shown what we just talked to you about, a good thing, a way to dominate your money for a change, and then you were to go out and tell people. People are going to want to know. And suppose you shared it with 12 people, okay? And those 12 people began to share it, right? Because, by the way, and we'll get into this in a second, we're going to compensate you for sharing this with other people. But imagine if you shared it with one new person a month, or maybe 12 people in a month. It depends on how excited you are. But begin building your network with personal referrals. You're going to tell the people that you hang around and that you're in communication with. Now, let's suppose, okay, it's like dropping a stone in a pond, right? The ripple waves go out and they share it with 6 people. And now your network continues to expand and they share, and only half of them share it, let's just say. The others are shy. Half of them share it, and now 12 share it to 6. 6 of those people share with another 6 who only share it with 3, and the network continues to multiply. The important part is that you shared it with just 12 people, but if you were to follow this progression and do the math, that builds a network of 1,164 people. Remember, the rings get bigger and bigger and bigger as they space out in the pond. And by the way, if you were doing that in the compensation plan, which we're about to show you, you could be generating $12,000 in monthly residual income for you. Okay, that's just by sharing. We talked about the $4,000 in passive income. And when you add those two, Gerald, let me just ask you this. With $16,000 in monthly income that continues whether you're working or not, what changes?
Everything, my friend. The car you drive, the house you live in, the clothes you wear, where you send your kids to school. This is a phenomenal opportunity that really can position people to win in a major way. So there's some major advantages through this referral system that MWR creates. Look at what we do here. The ability to build a residual income by referring others to the premier wealth building system of the century. And nobody else is doing this. Daily and weekly pay, through our payment structure, the ability to receive right now money for right now bills, industry leading payout. Eric, this compensation plan that you're about to review with our audience, it still blows my mind because I've never seen it before. I've never seen this much money being allotted or put on the table for the average person to access because of the way MWR has structured this. So we just showed you a few ways to generate income, but let's talk about the potential. Where this thing maxes out, we're talking $15,000 a day and potential daily income, which we know is $450,000 a month, which turns into over $5 million a year. And Eric, I think you call that athlete's money.
I did. When I saw that, I smiled and I said, now, we talked about access. Now the everyday person has the potential access to make athletes money without being, the top athlete in the country or in the world. So this is an opportunity. And, what we have done all along through our presentation is break it down and show you the math. The math is not complicated. We're talking about, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. We're not talking about derivatives or fancy, trigonometry or anything like that. But this is how the game of money works. And you and I both agree there's a money game going on out there. And either you're playing the game or the game is playing you. You decide which side, what part. Do you want to be in the bleachers or do you want to be on the field?
I want to be on the field, my friend, and let's show them how to get on the field. Let's talk about this revenue sharing plan. Here's the thing that really, really draws me to MWR and keeps me here. And regardless of where people are, there's a chance for you to really climb the ladder here and make this happen because of the structure, the way it's set up. And you just need a handful of people, Eric, that see what you've just shown them and run with you on this and look at the possibilities here.
Yeah, and this is a one-page playbook, if you will. Some of us I call it, the revenue menu. You pick where you want to be on this chart because it's up to you. I've heard people call this their retirement plan. I've heard people call it, a number of different things. But you said it very well with just a handful of people. Let me show you again with the math and the numbers. With just 3 people, we talked about sharing it with 12. Share it with just 3. And I'll bet you, 3 people that are in your phone list right now that are looking for an opportunity, would love the opportunity to generate a little bit of extra income. And so let's talk about that. If you found 3 people, okay, that joined you on this mission, 2 customers, which by the way, you would count as one of your own customers. MWR starts to pay you a salary-like income of $5 a day. And different than your salary at your job where you have to wait a week or 2 weeks to get paid, we get paid daily. Every single day around 5 o'clock, I get a text saying that your luxury residual has been deposited into your account. Now, with just 3 people, you're earning $5 a day times 30 days, average month. That's $150. No big deal to a lot of you. I'll be honest with you. To me, it might not have moved the needle for me if that's all I saw. But here's what I continued to see, that in addition to that, every time someone joins my group, that's another $50. So those 3 people gave me $150 plus my $150 for the monthly residual. Then if I did that in my first 30 days, now remember, just 3. If I did that in my first 30 days, the company gives me a third $150. So by the end of the first month, we haven't told you what the membership costs yet, but I'm going to tell you that by the end of the first month, you're already in the green, in the black, in the profit, So the 150 is a momentum bonus. And what they're basically saying is that you did a great job the first month, keep the momentum going. But we're not telling you to go out and get another 3. We're telling you to go help the 3 that had faith in you, help them to realize the same benefit, their 150 a month, their 150 through their 3 people, and their $150 bonus. And guess what? You get a $450 bonus if they achieve that in their first 30 days, your first 60 days. Well, remember, it's a momentum bonus. Momentum isn't just 2 months, 3 months. You do the same thing. Get the incoming freshman class, help them to get their 3. You haven't gone out and found another single person at this point. But here's what happened in the first 3 months. You got a momentum bonus in month 1 of 150. You got a momentum bonus in month 2 of another 450. That's added. Then in month 3, you got $900 more. That's a total of $1,500 just in momentum bonuses. But look where you are now. If you did that, your 3 got 3. Now you have 12 team members. Look in the first column. In month 2, now you're already earning $20 a month, which is $600. Now that will move the needle. For many people, that's a nice car payment. For some people, it's a significant portion of their mortgage payment, or maybe it's just the difference between making it a break even that month or not breaking even. But $600, I think you'll agree with me, people will notice. But remember, we're in month 3 now. Those 3 got their 3, so there's a total team. I started with 3, but the team built 33 more people. So now we have 36 team members. MWR is paying me that salary-like residual of $50 per day, $50 per day, which is the equivalent of $1,500 a month. Okay. I remember I got $1,500 bonus. Now I'm at $1,500 a month. You're going to see how this money starts to multiply. And I'm just touching on 3 of the 7 different income streams. Now, I want to stop for a second at the third month because I want you to notice that at $1,500 a month, in 3 months, you have almost duplicated what the average Social Security check is in America. What most people work 40 hours a week for 40 years of their life to retire on 40%. That's right. Social Security says that most people retire on 40% on what they weren't making it on when they were working full time. And the average check, as published by the Social Security's annual report, is about $1,600. You could do this. You could either double your Social Security if you like, or you could replace your Social Security, which is even better. And we're just getting started in month 3. Now, whether that was month 3 or even year 3 that got you to that point, still way better than waiting 40 years to find out what your paycheck is. And remember, I call this the menu. If you want more, come serve yourself from the menu. We have a friend of ours, we'll talk about him a little bit later, who's now at the $1,500 level, okay? $1,500 per day. That is the equivalent of $45,000. And by the way, that's from one of the 7 different income streams. But $1,500 a day, $45,000 a month, and take that out to a year, it's over $500,000 a year in income. And you and I both know it's real. People are doing it all the time. Maybe you want to go that far. Maybe you want to go all the way to $15,000. I know a lot of people have their eyes set on that $15,000 ring out there. You've got the $1 million ring already on your finger. When you pass the 6-figure per year income, there you go. As a look at it at $300 a day, $9,000 a month is a 6-figure income. That's what most people would love to have, but most people don't have access to how to get there. And now you do.
Absolutely, sir. And listen, you just touched on some of the money. You mentioned 7 streams of income. And even in this chart alone, the lifestyle bonuses are at play, $300 a week. Even the legacy bonuses from 30 to as much as $150 for everybody that joins your organization. But we're not done yet, Mr. Wheeler. There's even more money on the table when we look at what MWR Fundable 360 offers us, the opportunity to receive referral bonuses as you refer people to this platform. Now, we've seen some change here. One, the $400 is still in play. You refer business owners, they secure funding, they enroll in the program, MWR rewards you with $400. But as you said, you're building a team. You talked about 1,165 or so people. So they're doing the exact same thing. Those business owners or those business partners are introducing the concept. There was a time not long ago, just a week ago, that we'd only make 25% as a matching bonus, but we're in a promotion period now until the end of September. This matching bonus now is a 100% matching bonus, no longer 25%. So now those who I've personally sponsored that are introducing business owners to Fundable 360, when that business enroll, they make 400, but I'm also making $400. So this gets even more exciting. And you mentioned the legacy bonuses. It's even been carried over to this platform. So we have the ability to once again make an additional 30 to up to $150 in legacy bonus for every business that is referred to your network. I mean, through your network. This is amazing to me, all the money that's on the table.
It's wonderful. And yeah, you once said, we make ridiculous amounts of money for the amount of work that we're doing. And what work are we doing, Joe?
I'm sharing the concept. That's all I'm doing.
That's all we're doing is sharing the good news, and that's what we as human beings are supposed to do, is share the good news.
Absolutely. The beautiful part of all of this, we don't have to be a financial expert in any of these areas. So let's kind of break down the lifestyle legacy membership benefits. We first talk about precious metals and leasing. That gives us access to MWR's exclusive precious metals and leasing program for passive income generation. And now let's talk about the other pieces, the financial experts, dedicated experts to assist you with debt elimination, tax reduction strategies, credit restoration or credit enhancement, and so many more things, including keys to home ownership, which Mr. Wilner, I want to touch on that as well. I mean, we've got the trust, land banking, the investment vehicles like the private reserve account, the DCA, all of those things. Bill reduction services, professional negotiators to lower your monthly expense and increase your available cash flow, as well as our MWR rewards. That's our savings program that helps you put money back into your pocket on your everyday purchases like dining, shopping, things of that nature. But I want our audience to really understand. You talked earlier about those three core beliefs, right? And one of those was that everybody should be a homeowner. MWR is an excellent platform that can offer the average person a chance to do that, regardless of current or past credit, regardless of lack of down payment, regardless of where you are. Well, all we need you to do is come to the table with the desire to become a homeowner. And I've heard you say this many times, Mr. Wilner, if you can afford to rent, then you can afford to buy. And we help people kind of cross that bridge through Keys to Home Ownership, which is one of the, I mean, most impressive platforms that we offer in this suite of different services. You think about CPAs, financial planners, enrolled agents, credit restoration expert, debt elimination expert, investment consultant, a bill shredder component, keys to home ownership, trust my assets, land banking. The list is long. We've got access now.
You know, you walk into a giant warehouse store called Costco, one
Yes.
of my favorite stores, and you can't walk in there and not find good deals, right? I call this the Costco of the financial world. Where else can you come in and for a low membership fee have access to things that, 1 hour of one of these experts would cost more than our monthly membership. And
Right.
this is where the access becomes affordable and available to everybody. And that, I'm going to tell you, is probably one of the most exciting parts. All these different investment vehicles are wonderful. Having those experts on speed dial is fantastic. But just having the access now, and you and I are watching people, everyday people from all walks of life, from school teachers to firefighters to Uber drivers, it doesn't matter. They now all have equal access, and they're now all building their own personal wealth.
No question about it. So you mentioned what we'll talk about the cost in a minute, but because of this platform and all those that access that we've got to those experts, look at the average savings for members that access that platform, $2,000 a month. Now I don't care where people are in their financial life, we've got the ability to put an additional $2,000 a month back into your pocket from your existing finances. That's a pretty big deal. And so this is what we offer. But let's talk about the cost, Eric. And because again, you said it. I mean, walking off the street into a CPA's office or financial planner or any one of the other service providers that we offer, you would pay this per hour versus per month, right?
Way, way more, my friend. In fact, I was just working with an attorney right now. 750 an hour is what he charges. Routinely I see 300, 400, 500 an hour. And that's why a lot of people don't seek these experts out, because it's out of their reach. But for an affordable monthly fee of only $149.97 per month, you get access to everything that we've talked about today. And with no contract, so you're not locked into anything. You don't like it, say goodbye. No setup fees, so there's no hurdles and gotcha fees going in or going out. And as you started off by talking, we have a 100% 30-day money back guarantee. Also, to add to the value of that is that it includes your spouse. And it could be your legal spouse, your legally married spouse, your domestic partner, a father, son, mother, daughter. Two people, one address. Two people, one address. That's all you got to remember. Your partner enjoys all of the membership benefits in equal amounts with no additional costs. So that now you can partner up and build wealth together. And this is what I call the complete access system. You unlock everything that we talked about, the precious metals purchasing. Many of you, like me, never heard of precious metals purchasing before I was introduced to MWR. To find out these different contractual investments that exist all over the place. You touched on land banking. We used to talk more about land banking, a concept that you may have heard, but probably never really understood, A, and number two, you were never invited to participate in land banking, just the same way that, all the people that were invited to participate in building, Disney World in Orlando, when they land banked all that land, and all of a sudden everybody found out that that was all the same buyer. This is amazing access when you really think about it. And as I was just joking with my good friend Dr. Gerald Parker, and I says, after all, what are we really doing? Our experts, they do the work, they do the heavy lifting, they're licensed, they're vetted, they're educated, but you and I, we enjoy the rewards.
149.97. Turns out to be about the price of a cup of coffee a day that gives you full access to all of these experts that I mean with a guarantee. It's amazing to me, but here it gets even better, Eric, because now we have the ability to partner with MWR to promote this concept, as you said earlier, without having to become an expert. But now the question is, I want to go in business. Yes, I like maybe the idea of partnering with MWR, but what is it going to cost me to start my business? Now, think about in a traditional sense what a typical investment would be in a startup.
Tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, no
Even the
doubt.
cheapest franchises out there are $25,000, and they're not that great. Most people start a business underfunded, undercapitalized, and that's why 80% of businesses are out of business within the first 5 years, and a good portion in the very first year. And here's a business, okay? Not that you're starting a business, you're basically buying a business, an ongoing franchise-like proven formula, 8 years, multi-million dollar free and clear company for just a one-time payment of $100. You basically have in what I call a 100% IRS compliant business in a box that you can buy literally within 15 minutes of leaving our presentation. And from that point forward, you can get paid daily, the 7 different ways that we talked about. But more importantly, you now have access to the Costco of the financial world, the best products at the best prices possible. And so the business, $100 plus the membership, $149, qualifies you to start earning immediate income. And you saw the chart. I call it the money menu. Some people call it their retirement plan, but start receiving multiple streams of income. The MWR luxury residuals, that's the salary like income, the sponsor bonuses, the momentum bonuses that we talked about, the lifestyle bonuses, the legacy bonuses, as well as MWR's fundable 360. And there's 2 more revenue streams in that one, plus the additional legacy bonuses. And who knows what they're going to add to the pot in a couple of months, because they've only been growing both the benefits and the compensation. So all these benefits, it's really a very simple decision, right? Do you want some of the money or do you want all of the money, Gerald?
I want it all, my friend, but 8 different ways to get paid. But look, let's get back to that initial investment of 249.97. Look at what it does. One, it puts you in business with the fastest growing financial strategist company in the country. Two, it puts you in the middle of a multi-trillion dollar a year industry. And you mentioned it earlier. When in our lives, mine, yours, or anyone else's, where money hasn't been an issue for the great majority of people? What is the top? I mean, the primary conversation being had, whether you're at the grocery store, whether you're at church, whether you're at work, what are people talking about every single day?
You know, as Jerry Maguire said, show me the money. Everybody's talking about, they want to see the money. And for a lot of people, it escapes them.
No question about it, but we've got a chance to really help them. But look, now you mentioned a 30-day money back guarantee. I think this is quite bold considering the space we operate in, the financial service space. Now, you've been in the financial service space for decades, Mr. Wilner. Can you approach your stockbroker and ask for a guarantee? Is that a possibility in this space?
Oh, his answer will start with a laugh. Of course, your stockbroker can't guarantee you success. Ask any financial advisor. In fact, most of them are prohibited by their compliance department from using the word guaranteed in any of their literature or marketing. But right here, you see it, a 30-day money back guarantee with a capital G. Black and white, take a picture, remember it, hold our feet to the fire, because if our experts, our strategies, our opportunity, if that cannot help you save and make more money in your first 30 days, then we'll give you a full, and I always like to say, cheerful refund. And then on top of that, you have a second guarantee. Remember the fundable 360. Where else, go to any other credit agency or any bank out there and says, can you guarantee I'll be approved? And I go, well, after we review everything, but we're telling you, if any business you refer, including your own, does not qualify for at least $50,000 in ongoing. Why? Because we know the color by the number system for getting businesses funded. Unsecured business funding simply by following our experts' guidance, who will stay with you as long as it takes. And again, if for some reason it becomes evident that you're unfundable, and I haven't seen it happen yet, there is a full refund waiting for you. The bottom line, Gerald, is this is about as risk-free as an opportunity as you will see in the world of finances. These guarantees right now are the only way that I've ever seen where the only way that you can lose is by choosing not to participate. And I love your saying, and I use it over and over now, you've got to participate. You've got to be a participant in your own rescue. No one's going to come to your house and save you. But right here, through tonight's presentation, you just learned a way that you can go out there and make a complete difference in your lifestyle and in your legacy.
No question about it, sir. But Eric, now here's probably my favorite slide, right? And I want to talk about this because this is where we find the great majority of us, right? We're on a traditional path. Where did we get that idea from, right? Because that's not working for most people, but we've been taught that early on. What do they tell you to do? Go get yourself good education so you can secure yourself a good job, and then do what? You get on that 40-40 plan, 40 hours a week for 40 years, and they expect you to retire or live off or retire off of 40% of the income you were earning when you were working full time. And as you say, we know that most people could make it off 100%. But here's the thing, that number has shifted. It's no longer 40 plus years to hopefully retire. It's more like 50 years now. So this is the traditional path, and this is why the great majority of people are not winning, and this is why 2% of the population controls 98% of the wealth, and it's just a grind for most people. We end up working paycheck to paycheck, paid on Friday, broke on Monday, working just to pay bills, and destined to die broke because we're on this plan. So the traditional path says what? Work 40 plus years, 50 plus years, and hopefully retire. Risk your own money to invest. And this is exactly what we're doing. We risk personal assets and credit. If we take the wrong turn and blow that or mess it up, boy, that could really set us back. And then we're working harder for more income, and then we're settling for 5 or 7% return on annual returns on our investments, which is not a lot these days. And then for those, Eric, who are betting on Social Security and 401k to secure their future, I can only offer my prayers. And I'm not a financial expert, but I am not betting my future on Social Security or 401k. There's got to be a different way to do this.
Well, the government's lucky that they're not held to the same standards of advertising that most advertisers are. I think social insecurity would be a more appropriate name.
Mm.
Every election we hear about how it's getting ready on its way to going broke. Nobody knows if they're going to be the last recipients of Social Security. And the bottom line is that the return that you get to get Social Security, you got to contribute 40 years, and they decide how that money is invested. They decide what your annual cost of living increase is. It's just not right. On the other hand, let's look at a better option, okay? Because there is a better option out there, and the wealthy know it. And now, if you're a member of MWR, you will also know it. It's called the MWR path, right? You build your retirement income as you go along. You can do this in 5 years or less, depending on how serious you are or how much you're willing to roll up your sleeves. You use the bank's money instead of your money, and it's not I'll work harder for more money. I want more money to work harder for me. That's a much better formula for that. We showed you how to do that with no personal assets. Ladies and gentlemen, if you bring assets to the table, you're only that much further ahead. We're trying to make it simple, even an even playing field, no matter where you're starting, whether you're starting out of high school, out of college, or just starting over in a new direction today. No personal assets. I talked about no personal credit required. P.S. We have our own credit restoration division. We create and build and repair credit of our members. P.S. Included in your membership. I know people who pay thousands of dollars for credit repair, and it's built into our Costco of financial memberships. We leverage assets and we leverage people to make more income, not more of your time. You know, most people are indoctrinated to accept and think that a 5 to 7% annual return is reasonable. That's what we should expect. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't get out of bed for 5 to 7% in my world, in the real estate world. We're talking about a company that, like most investors, are looking for returns to 10, 12, 24%. I've seen 36% returns in some of our investments. And the bottom line at the end of the day, and let me simplify this in a way that I can't make it simpler. There's three types of income in your life. Okay. There's active income. That's what you start out doing, trading hours for dollar. And I don't care whether it's a salary, hourly, a commission, but you're trading your time for money at whatever level. Then there's semi-active income. That's when you start building a team, an insurance agency, a real estate company, where the broker makes a little bit off of all of the other agents, right? He works, but he works half as hard because he's got semi-active income coming in. But the best income is passive income or residual income. That's the income that comes in regardless of what you do. That's when you own a business and you don't have to be there. That's when you have assets, precious metals, real estate, stocks, bonds, and all sorts of stuff. We have our diversified cash flow account. We didn't even talk about that. We have our private reserve account. When you come inside the membership, you're going to be shown a whole new world and have the financial experts to hold you by the hand and in many cases do it for you. And that's how you get to enjoy passive and residual income that you own, you control, and then you can do the things that you were put on this earth to do, whether it's spend more time with family, go on missions around the world, travel around the world, or do whatever you want. But there are really two paths to take, and which one you take is entirely up to you.
Wow. Well, I myself, my friend, choose the MWR path. It's a faster track and it's a better life at the end of the day. And that's why we feel it's the perfect business. You think about it, universal appeal. Everyone wants a risk-free way to build wealth without using their own money. Two, immediate income, getting paid every single day. Right now, money for right now bills. High retention, one of the highest payouts and retention percentages in the industry. Once they come, they stay. But here's the beautiful part, recession proof, everything you need to protect and keep more of the money that you make, regardless of economic conditions. Now, Eric, touch on that one for me, because what we've done, it seems, is that we have the opportunity to build basically our own economy within an economy. So this we guard ourselves against inflation. We don't care what the market's doing. We don't care what the climate is in the financial arena. We're in the game generating income within the scope of the global economy.
100%. And I've been saying that for years on my radio show. There are, in fact, two economies, right? There is the global economy, the national economy, the economy that's in the newspapers. And that may or may not affect you, but there's always your own personal economy. And that's the one that you're in charge of. And believe it or not, that one you can control. You can't control the stock market or the global economy. You can control your economy by what you decide to do. And again, here you are aligning yourselves. It's, this is not, here's a business, go get them, Tiger. This is, here's a business. By the way, you have CPAs, IRS enrolled agents, you have CFPs, certified financial planners. You got all sorts, the precious metals experts, the real estate experts, the land banking experts, the trust experts. Ladies and gentlemen, when you really think about all that stuff and you say for 149.97 a month, I can have all those. And PS, here's one of those things. The more you use it, the less expensive it becomes. Okay? So I make a phone call at least once a month to our accountants. I spend at least an hour with them about once a month. And right there, I've already returned my investment in there. But I don't just talk to the accountants. I talk to the debt reduction specialists. I talk to the financial planners. I talk to all of those people. When you think about it in that way, and people ask me, Eric, you have access to all of these people all the time. You don't think twice about picking up the phone to call them? And I go, no, I pay them to think for me. Those are the people that give me a lot of the inside insights that you want, that make a difference in your personal economy. And the best thing about that at the end of the day, right? If you see how excited I get, that's because I use it. The more that I use it, the more that I invest with them, the more that I use the services, the more that membership is valuable to me, number one. But what if I told you that I could show you how to have that membership for free? And how do you do that, Eric? Well, listen, all you have to do is refer 3 other members into MWR, and they're going to stop billing you for your membership. Think about that. You're going to love the number 3 by the time we're done with our presentation today, because we told you that all you need to do is find 3 people to join you on the mission. All you need to do is find 3 people who become members, and your membership is free. And by the way, when you find those 3 people that join you on your mission and you're making $150 a month, you just started a business that not only is profitable in the first 30 days, but is self-funding. In other words, your business now, and yes, you get to write it off, your business is now funding your benefits. So I just showed you 3 different ways to have this not even cost you a penny out of your pocket.
In business for yourself, profit in 30 days. Unheard of in traditional businesses, no question about it. Now, you mentioned our good friend who's making $1,500 a day, Brian and Bean out of Atlanta, Georgia. Eric, you think he ever has a bad day?
Not too bad. I can't imagine.
I can't either. $1,500, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, he's parlayed his
Every day
income.
at 5 o'clock, I know he has a smile.
Oh, I'm sure. He's parlayed his income from MWR into investments like his 20 acres of property in Atlanta. He calls it Bean Acre. He's got condos in Dubai. So many opportunities are available when you start generating these levels of income. Charles and Judith Ivory, former military, saw MWR hit the ground running, created the life of their dreams. That structure you see behind them, that was pre-construction. That house, 6,000 square feet dream home, is now complete with the pool on a lake. I saw the opportunity 8 years ago, thanks to the CEO and founder, Mr. Brian House. It gave me an opportunity to really get my financial life in order. A struggling, not even a business owner, working a job, living paycheck to paycheck, paid on Friday, broke on Monday, and needed a way out of the mess that I found myself in. I took it very seriously and surrounded myself with the experts. And those guys created a path for me. They laid it out. They gave me an opportunity to save money on taxes, $350 back in my check as early as my next pay period. I enhanced my credit score by 128 points. That 128-point increase got me a reduction in my homeowner's automobile premium by $200 a month. So here I am, 120 days into the program, Eric, $550 on the positive side of money. And then these guys start talking about these investment vehicles like the private reserve account, where I took that money, put it in the investment account. Turns out this private reserve account is paying me 10 times more than my 401k, put me in a position to retire in 10 years versus 25. When those things happen, I started sharing this concept with anyone who would listen. And why did I do that? Because I knew that the great majority of people were in the same situation I was in, and they needed a way out. As a result, enough people gravitated toward the platform to put me in position within 2 years to walk away from a $65,000 a year job to do this full time. So, Eric Wilner, nobody in this world can ever tell me that MWR does not work. And I think you've laid it out The only way it may not be working for individuals who say it's not is that you're not putting the work in. Share the concept, use the services, watch this thing turn your life around.
Yeah, and as I look at just these three, now we have a web page that is, you know, scrolling of testimonials and examples of people. And you know, the one common thing amongst every one of these people is that they were a product of the product. They
Mm.
got in just like you. The first day says, "Well, let's see how this works. Let the experts guide me. Let's see how this one works." And Gerald, you even got an award in the beginning for using all of the services.
I did. Yes,
So
sir. Yes,
you
sir.
not only got your money's worth, but look at where you are today, you know, $1 million ring earner, you know, a leader in the organization, a mentor to so many people. Also, you head up, you know, the Kingdom Builders, which is, you know, a faith-based division of, you know, this program works well in churches, especially churches that don't have a strong stewardship program. This program works in associations. This program works with realtors, with mortgage brokers. This real program works across the board. Why? It's in the biggest financial industry that there is. And you're now part of the fastest growing company in that industry. Not a bad deal, Gerald.
No, that listen, this puts us in the catbird seat, my friend. No question about it. So now let's talk about the cost of waiting, Eric. What is it going to cost us? About a $500,000, right? So the question is, can we
Minimum.
not, yeah, can we afford not to join MWR? And I always ask this at this point, Eric, if not MWR, then what? And if not now, then when? Now we know that there are other investment vehicles out there, but the key for us to participate is that most people, I'm saying most people, the great majority of people don't have the startup capital to jump into real estate investing or precious metals or anything like that. We give you a chance to position yourself to get the money to get started to start working your way to the other side.
Absolutely. And as you know, we showed you how using none of your own money can make you $500,000. Imagine if you had some money to start with, or you went to work and rolled up your sleeves and added that additional income just from being, you know, a sharer, if you will. A qualified marketing director is what your title is, but what you're doing is sharing the good news of how people can also participate. You see, this is not a zero-sum game. The more the merrier, the more the better. The power of MWR is in the power of its numbers, the number of members, and that's why we have access. And as our membership grows, we get more and more access to bigger and better things. So when would now be a good time to get started?
I think now would definitely be a good time to get started. No question about it. But look at the advantage that you've got once you join this community, right? You get a tremendous amount of support, as you see here tonight. We've always said this: you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. There's ongoing education. I mean, in this whole process, you're working directly with experts. You've got mentorship networks, meaning all of those people you saw, like you see Eric Wilmer here tonight, Fernando Ramirez, Brian Bean, Charles and Judith Ivy, and many more, Randy Christensen, that are willing to pour into you to help you succeed. I don't see that happening every single day, particularly in corporate America, Eric, where people are willing to reach back and say, listen, let me show you how to get to the level I'm at or the success that I've had. I'm going to give you the blueprint and work with you. So we're going to root for you, cheer for you. We're even going to recognize you and celebrate you for your achievements as you go through this process as a part of this community. There's some huge advantages here.
Absolutely. And like you said, you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself.
It's a strong thing, my friend. Well, listen, Eric, there's some steps that need to be taken now. What happens now?
Well, very simple. And again, I like to use the expression color by the numbers because it's so simple, really anybody can do. Number one, get your questions answered. Get back with the person that invited you here tonight. Ask them the questions that have popped up. You know, we answered some in the chat, but for sure, you're going to have questions tonight, and you're going to have questions after we hang up. Get back with that person and get your questions answered. If they don't have the answers, you know, they're going to reach up. Remember, Gerald said this is a community that is focused on helping each other do better. Number two, choose your membership level. Do you want some of the money, the membership, and get yourself on a road to financial stability? Or do you want all of the money? In addition to that, you also want to be able to generate revenue by sharing this far and wide. Number three, complete your enrollment. It takes about 5 minutes, literally 5 minutes, to open your business. And then after that, launch that financial business. Get with the person that invited you here. Ask them about, we have programs to help launch people's businesses as if they had their own agency. We're here to help you. The structure exists, the system exists, the product exists. The only thing that's missing is you.
Wow, I totally agree there, sir. So, ladies and gentlemen, listen, we promised not to be before you long, but wanted to provide you with some impactful information. I do believe we've done that tonight. I still consider this to be, and will always consider it to be, the greatest opportunity that exists on planet Earth. And Mr. Will, I've got to admit, I'm a little biased, but it's worked for tens of thousands of people across this country, not just myself, but so many others. So, on behalf of myself and Mr. Wilner, we want to be the first to welcome you to the MWR family. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where lifestyle and legacy connect. We're honored that you took the time to join us on the presentation tonight and hope that you'll be back next week and bring a guest with you. But we're going to stop our screen share, Eric, and some of those questions might be out there. So, and we know that Fernando Ramirez is with us tonight. I saw Coach T on the platform early. We'd like to hear from some other leaders to kind of, give their thoughts and insight on their feelings about MWR and the success that they've had. And Fernando, also, we before you leave the platform, sir, if you could just give us that link that we'll need to pick up the recording, because I had a ton of calls the other night, people wanting the recording from the event. So these events are being recorded live on our
Gerald, he
YouTube
beat you
channel.
to it. It's already in the chat. He already put it in there. He's ahead of the curve. That's Fernando for you.
That's my man. I love it. I love it. Welcome to the platform, sir. Thank you, Fernando, for all that you do. Eric, listen, you know as well as I, there couldn't be a better guy to be in business with than this gentleman right here. The level of commitment that he's made to growing his business and helping other people succeed is like nothing I've ever seen. Fernando,
No,
once again,
and a
congratulations.
salt of the earth guy, a very real person. I met him several years ago, and we've grown a friendship over the time, in addition to being business partners. And this business attracts those kind of people. And you've
Yes.
always heard the saying that you are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. And now's the time not only to pick this company, but pick the people that you want to be around most of the time. Raise your average, raise your financial IQ, and raise your net worth. Fernando, the floor is yours.
Eric, Dr. G.W. Parker, thank you so much. It's an honor to work alongside you two. I mean, you guys, we're the powerhouse team, man. When I started working with you, Eric, years back, and we were at the same company prior to where we are now, and we built a relationship there. I remember I came to your radio show a few times to kind of put some thoughts together to educate your community. And from that point forward, we definitely established a good relationship. And then, being a part of this new journey, I call it a new journey. It's only 3 years, but it's been a tremendous ride working alongside with you. I remember when you said, yes, I want to be a part of this. And you definitely have devoted your energy, your enthusiasm, your expertise, being a tremendous realtor expert. I mean, I look up to you, man. I'm taking something from you tonight. You either play the money game or the money game will play you. And it's so true. Dr. G.W. Parker, you're saying always is, get excited or stay broke forever. I mean, I enjoy the process of working alongside leaders like you, Coach T, constantly leading the way. I mean, we got tremendous leaders, ladies and gentlemen. So you are here working for yourself and you will never be by yourself. So I do want to also talk a little bit about the rank up to the bank promotion that we have.
Yes.
I want to be able to also give kudos, and she's getting recognized periodically, ladies and gentlemen, because she made something happen in just a few hours. Haiti, she's here. Haiti, as a matter of fact, she did her executive director promotion by bringing 3 partners and 3 clients. But today we received an email from corporate. They're going to give her the rank cap to the bank bonus, which is the lifestyle. What is this? This is the light. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, it's the lifestyle bonus of $300. So Heidi, if you and your team decide that you're gonna go all out this week, you got until Sunday to bring 6 partners, and the company is gonna pay you an additional $300, just like you were a 2-star executive director. So
Wow.
congratulations on that. You deserve it. I mean, you're an inspiration to a lot of us. I've heard your story. Deborah, I think your sister's here. She talks highly of you, and she definitely, she trusted the process when she said, you got to do it just the way I'm doing it. And Deborah is here tonight too. As a matter of fact, Deborah, you're just around the corner for a 2-star executive director for 2 enrollments. But guess what? She's also going to get the rank up promotion, where she's going to earn the legacy bonus, $30 in addition to everything else the company pays out. So she will be getting paid like a 3-star executive director. And
Wow.
we want to give you kudos. Oh, yeah, she's on her game right now. And also, we got Gilbert here touching the surface of being where Haiti is. He's just 2 people away. So, Gilbert, I know you got guests here tonight, but Dr. G.W. Parker, Eric Wilner, thank you so much. I definitely enjoy working alongside with you. Love seeing our tremendous leader, Wendell Philp, here with us too, and everyone else. I don't want to leave anyone out because you are all a part of the family, and we love each and every one of you that is here tonight. Thanks again.
Hey, thank you, Fernando. Hey, and Eric, Fernando mentioned when it was on the platform. Maybe we can convince him one night to free up a few minutes to join us, and we can do it together. I'd love that. So you reach out to him, and I'll reach out to him. Maybe between the two of us, we can convince him to get on with his one Wednesday night. I'd love that. That would be incredible, my friend.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Well, ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you so much, Heidi. Congratulations, Deborah. What you guys are doing is just phenomenal. I mean, they put themselves in a position, Eric, to take advantage of the promotion. So now they're getting paid as if they were a level above what they've actually achieved already. And they're running through this by introducing the concept to people, just like the plan, requires us to do. Just tell the story. Let the experts do the work and let MWR pay you and me a ridiculous amount of money to tell that story. This is pretty exciting.
Yogi Berra is famous for saying that when you come to a fork in the road, which path do you take? But Yogi Berra said, when you come to a fork in the road, take it. And basically, when the company is offering you all of these additional incentives, take it. Okay. The company is very generous. The company really has a mission to make more millionaires than any other company ever has in the history. And this is an opportunity. Like I said, this is the legal, ethical, and moral way, but go and take advantage of these extra bonuses and then invest that money well.
Good deal, sir. Absolutely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, good night. Thank you so much for joining us on the platform. We look forward to seeing you here again next Wednesday night. And don't come alone. Bring a guest. Let's double our numbers. There should be a corporate event tomorrow night at 8 p.m. And then on Friday night, I call it the Latino Takeover. All platforms are being done on Friday night by our phenomenal Latino leaders. So we're excited about that. You'll see a presentation, you'll get training, even start with the morning reading on Friday morning. So so much happening throughout the week. And then Saturday, we jump into our routine with the book club as well as our overview and also training. So guys, stay tuned. Gilbert, once again, congratulations, sir. You started this fire and look at what has happened. God bless you guys. Thank you.
Take care, everyone. Good night. Microphones are open and cameras. If you want to open your camera and say good night, and the microphones as well.
Thank you. Good night.
Elisa, 3-star executive director. Good night, champion of champions, bilingual leader.
I'm not sure this open, Fernando.
Oh, sorry about that. I thought they were. I had them open. I don't know how they closed. Gilbert.
Thank you, Fernando. Man, you've been awesome. Just a amount of support for everything you've been doing for us. For me personally, I'm really excited about this program. I want to thank my guests, Anthony Nitz and Marisol Otal, for joining us. And I hope you got something out of this. If you have, give me a call. Look forward to us being a team together. We were a team in another business before, but I look forward to having this team come back together again. So I look forward to you guys. Also, want to thank your wife Martha for helping us on the Spanish end of it. Okay, the presentations and everything. So that's been really great for my other team, also team members. And so anyway, thank you, Fernando, again for the support. Deborah, thank you for having the courage to come and talk to me about this opportunity. I know it took you a little bit, to get there, but you know what? I could say, thank you so much for presenting this to me. So Fernando, Marta, and everybody else, thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank
We
you,
love it,
Gilbert.
Gilbert.
Awesome, awesome. Love you, Gilbert. Amazing, amazing leader, man. He's an amazing leader. You'll hear from him a lot, Dr. G.W. Parker. Gilbert
I
is
look forward
definitely
to
an
it.
amazing
I
leader.
see him.
And
He's
Deborah
shaking the
knows.
book.
Hi. Just I want to please thank you for all the help that you guys are
season finale
giving
Thursday
to
at
us
10
also
on
to Gilbert
Sci-Fi.
because I met you because of him long time
That's
ago.
right. That's right.
So everything, like you say, everything started with him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
He's the
thank you.
guy.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Deborah, because you're putting right now, your focus, determination to make this happen for you and your family. You deserve it.
Yes. Thank you very
All right.
much for everything. Have a good night,
All right.
guys.
God
Bye
bless
bye.
Good night, everyone. Bye.
Buenas noches.
Cassandra, I think, had her microphone open. Slim too.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, good
that's-
night.
Good night, guys.
Good night, leaders.
Good night,
Take care.
Randy. Good night, Levy Sullivan.
Good night, Randy.
Good
Thank
night.
you, guys.
Good night,
Jamie,
guys.
We
good
just
night.
want to acknowledge that Slim just made his ED. He just
Awesome.
we signed up a customer for him, so he's able to open up his $5 daily.
Congratulations, Slim. All right. Go get that money.
Good night, everyone.
Good night,
Wow,
guys.
this is awesome. Great things are happening. Well, I think he ranked up to the $300 bonus as well. Bringing
Yes.
6 partners.
That,
Oh, yeah,
that's
Slim.
right. He's
You got
just
that
qualified.
bonus.
He's just qualified for the rank up bonus. Absolutely.
Rank up bonus. Congratulations, my friend.
Good deal.
Bye, everyone.
Love you, Fernando. Take care, buddy.
Love you too, champion.
Well,
Thank you so much.
thank you.
Bye
Good night to
now.
all you are great people.
Thank you, Rebecca.